Welcome back to Anno 1800, and for those of you who are watching this episode today, or maybe next week or something, Happy New Year! I am recording this on the 2nd of January 2024, and I also believe that today's episode will be slightly delayed. Now, in between the episodes, I have done a fair bit of maintenance work. Nothing really pertaining to the city here, except for one thing, and I'm very consciously staying away from that part. I did add some fishing or fisheries here, because it felt kind of pointless to take up an entire slot in our Docklands for fish, when our requirement for fish is 6 tons per minute. So this should keep us supplied. Now we can go over to Wally Farms and we can just have a quick look here. And as you can see, there is a lot of stuff missing. The reason for this is that I want this to be a farm/worker city. So it will change name. We can also visit Pep's Isle, where we have moved the grain farms to. I'm using Alexander Hancock and the super phosphate fertilizer. Note that that is an additional 70% modules, and also the medal winning producer. This gives us a total of 80, 120, 190 additional productivity, so these farms produce at a rather ridiculous rate. But they do have the minor drawback of needing 316 fields per. So we're currently producing 205 tons of grain per minute on this island. Now we're using 60 of that because I also moved the bakeries over here. So we have this little bakery section here, which I've actually decorated. I figured that this is probably going to be the at least for now, final baking facility. I'm not sure what I want to do on the rest of this island, but I did set up a local department to get the additional productivity and also the extra goods from farms policy, which gives us 1 additional grain per 2. And if you are curious about how effective that one actually is, so we're producing 205 tons per minute currently. If I remove that, we drop down to 149. So for a farming island, this is very powerful. In addition to this, we have this island up here, which is Quadrotasstad. There is not really anything here yet, but I am planning on using this island for possibly also workers and farmers. I haven't completely decided on that yet. I had forgotten to settle this little island, so this is Pumu Mines. Not this one, not Lallybroch. Just checking to see what island. Yes, this island is currently called TZ Vines. And well, I guess it's fairly obvious what I intend to do with this island. We're currently not producing any grapes since I have removed the grape farms from this island. And I moved them to this island. And, well, the other thing with the island of Pep's Isle is that I have built up a Docklands here. I don't think I'm actually using the Docklands here for anything currently. But this island is kind of bordering both the Arctic and the South. So I don't remember exactly why I set it up, but there was a reason for it, and yeah. Now, Pumu Industry. This island is rather substantial. I have the vineyards here currently, but they are going to be moved over to the TZ Vines. And in addition to that, we have all of this. I started by moving down the... I have Docklands here as well, and I am using them. And we are going to be focusing on this island in this episode. So the Docklands, I do have a thing for having this U shape for my docks, and I also like to spread out the piers with repair cranes so that the cargo ships doesn't clip too much into one another. But I'm really happy with what this looks like. It's fairly nice looking Docklands. As for the metal industry, I have that contained within this. I'm not sure what has happened here. This brick wall, that looked really stupid. Let's get that looking proper, shall we? So I have currently I have 6 furnaces running. I have 7 brass smelteries running. And I have 4 steelworks running here. They are all covered by this trade union, which has Ferrous al-Zarami, of course. It has a bechamel converter, 60% additional productivity, but it does reduce the attractiveness from all of the buildings by an additional 1. And I'm also using the Fizzgig's fabulous fireproofing failsafe to get the minus 70% chance of fire. But trust me, that doesn't really help all that much. Things blow up regularly here. I also do have the local department here for the 18% productivity, which will increase as our palace prestige increases, of course. But here I'm using the extra goods from heavy factories, which I do plan to replace with the Union Subsidies Act. I mean, this one is very good, but we are only producing steel beams, steel, and we have 1 weapons factory, brass, and I do want to produce the elevators on this island, and the elevators will also double up as the good that we are using in Docklands, because I'm currently using that. I've just sent over a couple of shiploads from the capital, so we're using that to buy wood and iron ore currently. I don't think we're buying much iron ore. No, we are being supplied with so much iron ore from our other islands that wood we are buying. And we're using wood for producing timber, and also wood is being used in... There was one other thing, yeah, soap factories. Now these soap factories, sadly, one of the drawbacks to my overlay or overlap mod that I'm using for the trade unions is that I do get the occasional overlap. So some of these trade unions overlap one another, so that these soap factories, for instance, they get like 3 Department of Labor bonuses and 3 Ferrous al-Zarami, because there's 1 trade union there, there's 1 trade union there, and there's 1 trade union there. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it does feel kind of ridiculous to have a soap factory at 554%, when the actual number should be 336. Or even 318. But it's fine. I'm doing this mostly for the fun of it anyways, so... I also moved all of the piggeries over here, so there are ample pig farms here. We have some pig farms up here as well. We have all the wool we currently need here. I didn't leave much room for decoration in here, which I'm slightly miffed about, but it's kind of hard to get the trade union coverage unless I had moved it over there, of course, which I could have done, and I could have moved them a little bit further out, and yeah. But I'm happy with what it looks like currently. I believe we are going to need more sheep farms. We are currently... No, maybe not. 275 tons per minute should suffice. 107 pigs per minute, or tons of pigs per minute. As for iron, we are spending 114 tons per minute on the island, but we are getting that shipped in from several other islands, so... Intermediate, we're producing 52 steel per minute, and that's probably part of the reason why we're not buying much iron in the Docklands, because as the worker in the factory said, we're full up, and that's how I like it to be honest. 2 seconds, just a sip of water. There we go. We also have 39 tons of brass and 29 tons of tallow. This is a byproduct from someone. We'll see when we get there. So the sheep farms are covered by Ferrous Al Sarami, a fabulous feed yard for 70% additional productivity, and a fine feed yard for an additional 70% productivity. These two combined gives a maintenance cost of an additional 55%, but we're making 462,000 and I'm capped on 1 billion, so it doesn't really matter all that much, to be honest. And, I mean, production upkeep, 25. Who cares? As for the piggeries, it's the same thing. I have them covered by the same items. It's upkeep of 50. I do not really care all that much about that tiny amount of money. Have some sheep farms down here. They are covered by the same trade union as I'm using for the pig farms up here. And down here we have the slaughters, or the butchers. So the slaughterhouses. This might get extended a little bit, but we are currently producing 49 tons of soap, 76 tons of work clothes, 62 tons of soap, 75 tons of fur coats. That's for the Docklands. We're producing some champagne as a byproduct, some bombins, and some ponchos also as a byproduct. I don't remember where. Here's where we get the tallow from. Chantel de Charcutier? Charcutier? It's probably French. But since these produce every 19 seconds and we have... No, it's easier to just see here. We have 16 of them. We do get quite a bit of tallow, as you could see here. That's 29 per minute. Up here we have some more slaughterhouses. They have their own little trade union. I tried to tuck it away so that it wouldn't cover anything, but it's going to cover that soap factory down there. But for the rest of it, this is probably also going to be reserved for pigs or sheeps. Sheeps! That's a new one. I haven't decorated these parts yet, but I have decorated the butcher area. There's even a gazebo plaza here for when the workers need to take a rest and have a look at the wonderful... that is a wonderful view, actually. So I've also decorated the area that has the pig farms. There's some Hildegarden trees around the area. Lots of hay bales and, of course, trees. The soap factory area is also decorated with some crates here and there, and you have this central plaza for cargo, tanks, a water tower, and some barrels. And the little decoration I got in here, there's a gnarly oak or two up here. And a couple of trees dotting around the landscape, and of course a memorial garden here. In here, I'm quite happy with what this looks like. We have I'm using the sewer canals here, because I mean, these factories would produce a lot of slurry, I would say. So these sewer canals are kind of a representation of the slurry being produced by these factories. And I'm using these construction sites here with the pipes as a kind of representation of the pipeworks going here. They probably should go towards the ocean, but yeah. I also have the weapons factory. It's produced, or it's placed in a central location here with a low wall around it. And up here we have some oil tanks. I mean, these are for the railroads, so the trains. But I figured that, hey, there's lots of vehicles, cars driving around here, so we can pretend it's gasoline or something. There's, of course, a couple of Anno Union billboards up here, because everyone's part of the Union in this this world. Unions are important, you know. I had to just put up some temporary brick factories here. I'm not producing nearly enough bricks, so we need to alleviate that. I do have an island or two down in the New World where I can get more clay that I can send up here. But for the time being, I think we're getting clay from Pumu mines. I didn't have to put down commuter pier here because the trade union takes away the need for workers here with the quarryman. And the mines here are such that it actually covers in terms of workforce, and I don't think I will have anything else on this island. With that, I'm going to take you over to a time-lapse of me redoing the Docklands on the capital island. I wasn't happy with what they looked like, and I have said for a long time now that I wanted to redo them, so I finally got around to doing that. But I didn't want to tear them down, so I've skipped a little bit of the initial recording of that time-lapse where I moved all of the individual modules around. Because when you tear down depots, everything that's on the island stored in the warehouses gets ditched into the sea outside, or not everything, but a lot of it gets ditched into the sea, and I did not want to deal with that. Now, the result you see in the time-lapse is not the exact same result as you will see when the time-lapse is done, because I had some minor changes that I discovered afterwards that I wanted to do. But with that said, let's just jump over to the time-lapse. Okay, so here we are. Now you can see that there are some minor changes, like these are now double, and I've also got this pier here because I like to have ships coming in here that I can just easily load up, and then I know they're in range of a pier instead of having to take my ships in here, since these gets fairly populated when these various trade ships come in and out of the harbor all the time. The IMS deal of Wiv is clipping into these warehouses here. I mean, I didn't need these warehouses, but I built them because I felt that I needed something here, and I didn't know what I wanted to build there. As for the Docklands, one of the main reasons I do like to build the Docklands, and I will be building them on several islands, is the loading time.
Pact has ended.
Okay, that's going to be very annoying because all 4 of them is going to end at one time. Yeah, go away. So this does 24 tons per second. In comparison, a regular one does 2 per second. So let's say I have a full ship. That is...
in the presence of a virtuoso.
Oh, he's very nice. He's very nice, actually. But yeah, let's say we have a full ship. That's 600. So you can divide 600 by 2. And it takes 300 seconds. That's 5 minutes to load or unload a ship. If you instead take 600 and divide it by 24, you get 25 seconds. That is a substantial difference. And when you have a lot of ships running around, sailing around, driving around, motorboating around, I guess, then you don't want these piers to be taken up by the ships for a long time. Especially, I mean, for my economy here, it's not that much of a problem because they usually don't unload that much, but you don't want them to be hogging all of the piers, and you get a queue of ships waiting for that outside of the harbor area. So Docklands on all of the main islands is a definite thing, where I'm trying to get all of the loading wharfs down so that I get the maximum benefit of the loading speed bonuses. But you can see here with the Docklands on the island, even this one has a loading speed of 40. But that only applies to that one. If I place down, at least I believe it does, if I place down a regular pier, I'm fairly sure that this one is 16. So the Docklands does affect the island in its entirety, but I'm not sure why this is 40.
With you as nurse, I knew they'd get well soon.
Do I have anything in the palace?
It makes me less anxious about Western medicine.
No, I don't think I have anything in the palace that affects that. No, I don't. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so another thing that I did in between episodes was that I did build some more scholars, and I've started to... I did...
I am one of the scholars. Can I assist you, perhaps?
This one. Change deposit ore. I did 3 of these so that I could change 3 limestone quarries to something more useful. I'll probably continue doing these, but I'm going to need a lot more research point to continue. I'm not a big fan of these, but I mean, let's see, maybe. I don't really need these. Maybe I've done 4, no, it's 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, so I've done 3 of these. Change fertility, however, that might be something that I actually want to do. Let me have a look here. The grain island. Yeah, maybe I should change the fertility here.
A marriage of earth and heaven.
And put the vineyards here. Since I already have a Docklands here, and I thus get a loading speed of 22.5. It's definitely the Docklands that is affecting this. It has to be. I don't have the 14th loading wharf here, but I couldn't really find a place to fit it, so yeah, maybe I'll do that. That is a good idea. But what I was supposed to say was that I also have started doing the fields of research to unlock the various items here. But I need more scholars, and while I did just plop down to tailor shops and bootmakers, and I think I've finished up what I need from Mbeza, I figured we'd take a look at the telephones, the radio tower. Yeah, I've done what I needed from Mbeza. Let's just have a quick look at that as well. Because the scholars do want goods from Mbeza, which it's a little bit tedious, to be honest. Especially since workforce from Mbeza is fairly limited. But the leather boots take Sanga cow, and of course the hibiscus tea, the tapestries, and the clay pipes. You have to produce those in Mbeza. So I went down there and did some minor modifications. And then the gramophones, those we produce here in the old world, so that's not really a problem. As for the needs of the telephones, they need to be produced here in the old world, and they do require filaments and something else. The tailored suits, those were... they require linen from Mbeza and cotton fabric from the New World. So I have set up some trade routes doing that, and I have 2 of these here, and I have 2 of these bootmakers here. I do believe we need another tailor shop, if I don't recall entirely wrong. Yes, we do. But for the leather boots, we are producing enough. Is there anything else that we are struggling with currently? We could probably use more rum. Other than that, it looks good. Yeah, we get additional sausages from the canneries. I had to up our canned foods production as well, now that I remember that. So I've added a few more of these. They need flour, so we do have some windmills somewhere. And this has Mrs. Mason, which gives an additional 50% productivity, and instead of iron, the buildings now use flour. So we've replaced both of the materials. The goulash has been replaced by pigs and give us additional sausages, and Mrs. Mason replaces the iron with flour and gives us additional tortillas, which is nice since we have the World's Fair here. Means I don't have to import that good. Where did I put those windmills? Oh yeah, I just slapped them down over at the bakery section. As for the Docklands themselves, let's just quickly check that. I have 1, 2 free slots. I could probably make that 3, but I don't know if I've set up a trade route for the grain. This is a temporary route for potatoes because for some reason I was running out of them on Wally Farms. Let's see here. No, I'm unloading all that grain onto Pumu Industry, and then I'm taking the champagne and the chocolate, which is bonus production from the farm over to from the farms and the bakeries over to the capital. So maybe I need a route taking grain so that I don't have to import it in the Docklands. We'll see. Now, Mbeza. I had to add more fire stations to abide the game. But we can start here. I've added a fair few more indigo plantations here. So we're producing 36 tons of indigo per minute, which meant I had to do some stuff with my railroads. Yes. And I've also extended the what are they called? Canals? I'm sure there for a second it was water channels or canals. This island does not have one of those cheaty items, but 795 is ample, unless I want to farm this area down here, which I don't think I will need because I think that I'm mostly done with Enbeza. As for, let's see, this island down here, Kombol Charim, I haven't done anything here, so this is the same as it was. And this seems to be working quite nice. Now Tabarim, on the other hand, I have done some extensive work here. You can see there are more people living here now, and the industry that was here has been moved around. Let's see. I have some tea spicers down here, so I had to add a tea selector here. I had to add a lot of linseed farms, so I moved the 2 farms that were here and replaced them with linseed. And I moved the teff farms over here. And then we have another spice farm and another teff farm and even more linseed farms up here. I also had to add another fuel station because range, and also I have more than 20 farms now. The goats have been moved here. I have a trade union here that has angelic anthrax vaccine, veterinary antibiotics, and a livestock farmer. So we are getting ample goat's milk from these. They have a rather nice production value of 396 because the silo also adds 100%. And of course, with 396 we are getting every 15 seconds, so every 45th second we get 4, so nearly 5 tons. No, it's actually 5 tons per minute-ish per goat farm. And they're also on fertile ground, so that helps. The hibiscus farms, or hibiscus tea spicers, which are all using linseed, are over here with this trade union, which has Ferres Al-Sarami, who also affects the farms, weirdly enough, and the tea selector, of course. So I'm not sure how Ferres Al-Sarami affects farms, to be honest, but he does, of course. I do have a trade union in here. I could add a Ferres Al-Sarami to this, but I don't need to do that currently. Now up here we have all of the industry. Some of these are ridiculously covered by various items, like this here, 3 Ferres Al-Saramis. But I mean, it doesn't really matter all that much because I have ample space that I could build more of these if I wanted to. So I had to add several more Watt kitchens, and in addition to that I also had to add a couple of where are they? I don't recognize the buildings now. Where are the spiced flour? Here they are, teff mills. So I've got 3 of those, and I've got 4 of the Watt kitchens. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pipe makers. And I'm also sending more clay down here because we are using quite a bit of clay on the island. We have 3 tapestry looms, I believe. Dry houses, we don't need that many of the dry houses, so I think we only have 2 of them. Can check quickly here. No, we have 4 of them. So where are the other 2? Okay, so 2 up there, 2 down here. Luminars.
You dragging us down.
We only need 1 luminar because the illuminated scripts are not needed for the scholars, thankfully. The embroiderers, we have how many of them? 3. Those are also not needed for the scholars. As for the tapestry looms, however, I needed to add a couple of those, so we have 3 of them. 1 here, 2 over there. And yeah, that is about it. As for our workforce, we are very healthy in regards to workers, so I can add more if needed. But I don't think we are going to need it anytime soon, because as you can see, we're producing ample Sanga cow here, ample linseed, ample salt, ample teff, and ample spice. As for the consumer goods, we are producing 13 tons of hibiscus tea per minute, 12 tons of seafood stew. I think I maybe I overdid that one slightly. 14 tons of tapestries, 7 tons of clay pipes, and yeah, we are very good on all accounts on the goods that we need from Tabarim. This island over here, Sala Anibeza, is for teff, which I'm using for these Senga farms. So I have 7 of these here. I haven't decorated anything here yet. I'm not sure if I'm even going to bother to decorate here in Ambeza. Tabarim, sure, I've done that, but I'm not done with it. But here we have the Biniam's complex mechanical floodgate system, which means we have water for days, years. Of course, we're using the loving cattle herd to reduce the number of modules by 1 and also increase the productivity by 20%. And we have Ferrous Al-Sarami for an additional 50% productivity. And I've also made sure that the land is fertile. So these do produce at an ample rate, and we are producing 35 tons. And all of that is actually being used for the old world only. Now, this is a big island, so there's ample room for more farms here. Whoa, that was dramatic. With the commuter pier, I don't see any reason why we should ever need to build houses. So this is a very good farming island, and I can change the lobster abundance and or the bee abundance if necessary, if we need something else on this island, like say we needed more indigo or something. Then again, we have this big island up here as well. Now this one doesn't have many river slots, only 2, but with the Biniam's thingy system, we should have enough water to farm this entire island too, if we wanted to. And this island, do your research, as in do your research, is also very prime spot for farms if we ever needed more farms down here. But I don't think we will, and Beza doesn't really give much in terms of value, except for what you need for the old world to build the research institute, which is the important part with Ambeza, and of course the quests. But the elders down here, they do give us 86 science per minute, because I think we have 86 of the elder houses. I know I can... yeah, so it's 1 per house. And I don't... when you compare them, so 86 houses of elders gives us 86. While if we go back to the old world and we have a quick look at our scholars, 27 of these give 1296. And that's without any kind of specialist in the town hall here. We can add specialists that give more science or research points. So it's I don't think I have any of those currently. No. But yeah, that's a good summary of what I've done since the last episode. I do intend to continue on our skyscrapers, but not just yet. We also should make sure that we are continuing doing the World's Fair, just to make sure that you get 1 positive news article in every newspaper. It's worth it to always run the World's Fair for that reason. Now, elevators. Elevators, they do require veneers. Veneers, we do get a multitude of veneers because of Francois Thorne. I think I got him in between recordings. He's of course a throwback to Anno 2070. Let's see. And we don't get the special article for it now. I should send some spectacles down to Palazzo with just to get rid of this popping up. Let's use some propaganda here.
If you insist,
I think we'll use that one actually. Publish.
How frightening you can be.
So Francois Thorne
Influence
is an incredibly good, of course he's legendary, so he's an incredibly good specialist. Both the brick factory and the concrete factory replaces its workforce with farmers instead of workers. It gets an additional 50% productivity, gets 8 attractiveness per building, and gives you 1 wood veneer for every second production cycle. Now you will notice that all of these are not doing anything currently.
We have reached capacity.
Because we're full up on both bricks and reinforced concrete.
Do not
So
mind the odd jet of steam.
when it comes to, that's why I wanted to import clay from the New World to Pumu Industry, and then I'll actually sell bricks and concrete, or reinforced concrete. I'll sell that to one of the traders, probably the pirate, just because it's a long way. To make sure that we always have wood veneers being produced from him. So I will take him out of the trade union here and put him in the trade union over at Pumu Industry so that we get wood veneers from that. However, I do want to build... I don't know how many assembly lines for elevators we're going to need, but I'm going to go with... the motors, that's the thing.
in one of your factories.
An iron mine of all things in this world. We can do steam motors, or we can take steam motors out of the capital. We have 25 per minute here. Let me just think for a second. I intend to move all of the industry off the capital and over to either all of it over to the Pumu Isle, or I might move the schnapps to a different island. I'm not sure if we can fit all of it on this island, but when we move the sewing machines over to their Pumu Isle, I'll get Bruno Ironbright, so we'll get additional steam motors and advanced weapons that way instead. But, I think I'll just set up a quick trade route for that now. That would be route number 16. Wrong way. Open trade route, Old World 16. Assign to group Old World. Go from there to there. And take steam motors and bring them over to Pumu Industry. Are we trading steam motors in the Docklands here? I think we are, but not that much. Trading some for hops. That should be very low number. Trading some for saltpeter. Sewing machines, I think I'm selling to someone. Maybe we actually have such high consumption of sewing machines that 25 are using 4. Yeah, we actually have such a high consumption. Because I don't think that I'm selling those to the AI. No, I'm not. It's actually consumption that keeps the sewing machines below the threshold. And again, I've increased the storage to 9,260, so it's going to take a while for this to fill up. But yeah, that's the steam motors taken care of. So we need 4 marquetry workshops. Actually, what we do need is 8. I don't think I want to build that there. I think I want that there. Can I fit 3 of these? Oh, nice. And I'll do the same on the other side. There'll be precious little space for decorations here, but... these warehouses keep being overloaded very often. You can see this ticking in here. It did help when I built up the framework knitters down here, but the farms, the only reason these are not overloaded at the moment is because these have a full storage. So yeah, okay, so that's 6. No, thank you. That's 6 marketry workshops. Let's just see here. I want to place this as a blueprint, but I want to make sure that I'm placing it the right way. And... let's see. This road is a bit inconvenient. I want that to continue off there. Let's just see. If I place that like so... that's the correct way. And then I can have... oh, that is annoying. I was kind of hoping that I could fit them in such a way that I could place 2 marketry workshops in between here and have the wall come up here so that this would be an enclosed area. But... okay, I'm going to have to do it that way then. Move these one over. And then... is this going to be a tight fit? Yeah, I know, that's what she said. So like that. Then we can have a warehouse. I don't like that it's not going to be centered though. You know what? I think I'm going to do it like this, just because of for decorative purposes. And I do want to have a trade union in here. Of course, that's going to cover more buildings and so forth, but I don't think I'm going to have any Ferrous Saram in here. I think assembly line elevators.
People celebrate your leadership.
Assembly line elevators. Yeah, this one. Of course, that means we are going to need even more marketry workshops. But then again, we won't need any marketry workshops because of Mr. Thorn. This one, I'm not that fond of that one because of the chance of fire. I mean, it's not bad, but normally I would be very much opposed to this item because of the plus 125% maintenance cost. And this one too, with a 130% maintenance cost. Take these two combined, it's 255% maintenance cost increase on a building that's already pretty heavily... that one is also very nice. Pretty heavily... pretty heavy in regards to the cost. I think they cost something like... oh, it isn't as bad as I thought. 600 per. But these are actually more expensive than the assembly line itself. Anyhow, trade union. Yeah, let's just place that there. We do want it to be connected to a road. I guess we can turn these around. Now we can have some decoration in here. Build these and these 2 marketry workshops. And then we want to turn off the blueprint mode. No, I still need one of these here, and then... Oh. I always tend to double-click because I'm so used to building roads. So now we have some room for decorations as well. Now I do want to upgrade these... just so they look a little bit better. Money is no longer an issue, so... build the trade union too, even though we're not going to have any items in here. For some reason that gave us attractiveness. This one is giving us 30 attractiveness for some reason. But this is a picturesque settlement with all this pollution. Why am I getting... Oh, because of the... Ah, they've changed that since the last time I played. Does that mean that... Oh boy. The plus 10 influence there is... Does that trade union only cost 5 influence? That's insane. Even with the stadium giving all the influence that I'm getting from the football championships, that's insane.
A magnet for genius.
Oh, another one of those. That's nice. Reducing the cost from 15 to 5, because what I mean by that's new, usually the exhibits in museums and zoos and so forth, you had to build them on the island for them to affect the buildings, but there is definitely no Gods of the Delta exhibition on this island. I have the Gods of the Delta in our museum here. So, when I played the last time, it would only affect this island. And that was a reason to collect some of the sets and actually build a museum or a zoo just to get a set bonus on a specific island. So this one, Icebound Exhibition, gives minus 20% maintenance cost to all of the drink and food production buildings. Does that also apply to... Yes, it does. So it's actually session-wide instead of island-wide. Nice change. We should have enough veneers now. We do. So boom and boom.
People celebrate your leadership.
And we are now producing elevators on this island so that I don't have to bring them over. And we can use those elevators both for constructing more skyscrapers, of course, but elevators are kind of the best item to use in the Docklands, together with, of course, advanced weapons. So this... I'm probably going to have more of these elevator assembly lines, but this is a nice little start. I can get rid of the marquetries when we move over the clay person, so that will help. And I can probably fit 2 more in here. I can also then reduce the size of this compound a little bit, I think, because I can have them, if I have 4 of them, I can have 1, 2, 3, 4 for some decoration as well. Now, to round off the episode, I think we can do a little bit of decoration here. Let's say that this is... I don't think that looks good. Can have some cargo stacks, and I mean the crane is actually kind of cool. Let's build that there. This gives it a really industrial kind of vibe. And we can have some of these, I don't want to there. Tanks, yep. And let's also put down that I think that's a bit much. If we do 3 crates and then some barrels. And then we'll just fill in these with concrete floor. Let's make sure there's a... Are they called manholes? That might only be American English, I'm not sure. Yeah, one of those. Just to get a little bit of variation in it. And we also want to have a couple of memorial statues on the corners. I do like to have the memorial statues on the corners like that around the trade unions. I think it looks kind of thematic with those. And the rest we can just pop in some trees. Let's have an apple tree, a poplar, trembling aspen, and an elm tree. Of course, we should also have something up here, but when it's a long row like this, I normally just do this. And of course, I also almost missed this little tidbit there and there. So there we go. We have a healthy little production here of elevators up and running. And I will continue to move industries and stuff down to this island. But the plan, I'm not... So, okay. What I'm thinking is that I want to complete these skyscrapers before I start the tourists. I want the skyscrapers so that we have the Iron Tower. No, that's the tourists. I want to have the... I don't remember the name of it. The Donald Bader quest line. My brain is completely blank now. And I don't have any quests for him either. That's weird. I was sure we were going to have more quests for Donald. All of these stuff that affect them. It's kind of amusing actually with these overlapping things. But yeah, I want to have that the big sky something tower at least. It's a massive skyscraper. I'm not entirely sure where I want to place it because I don't want to place it inside of this park because I'm quite happy with the park. So I want to retain the park. But we'll find somewhere to put it down, and it's going to be the tallest building in the city. We might, as I mentioned, have skyscrapers going a little bit further out here, but I want to retain this part of the town as is like an old town. But this row here is definitely potentially up for grabs with a little bit of this row, because then I would have to shuffle some things around to get it right. Now, the final thing we're going to do in this episode is to donate the Encyclopedia something Universalis.
We are all eager to act. Completed with commendable equanimity.
So I can get rid of the quest from the quest book. I don't know if they're going to give me any more quests, but we'll see. So we have a couple of goals. We have the skyscrapers. I want to build up the researchers. That might be the thing that we're going to do in the next episode, to be honest. Or I might do some of that in between episodes. But I'm not. I kind of want to have a student campus thing. And this does look like a good area for it, beside the museum and in front of the palace. But yeah, let's wrap up the episode here. It's kind of longer than usual now, so that's just how it is sometimes. So, yes, if you have any questions and or comments, as per usual, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. If you do not, then I would definitely appreciate if you just leave something down there, maybe even click like on the video, just to help out with channel algorithm visibility and so forth. And I normally don't mention this. I've mentioned previously in the series that I don't really care all that much about the income from content creation, but there is a small perk. You may have noticed that some of my islands have names like Wally Farms, TZ Vines, Pep's Isle, and so forth. You can, if you become a Patreon, you can get your name in the game on one of the islands if you want that. But you should not in any way consider becoming a patron unless you actually can afford it and unless you actually want it. My schedule tends to be erratic on YouTube, which is also one of the reasons why I rarely, if ever, talk about my Patreon account, because I don't want people to feel that they are paying money for something that isn't really happening on a regular schedule. So yeah, with that, thank you all so very much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and pardon if it was a little bit all over the place again. That happens from time to time. But regardless of that as well, I hope to see you all in the next episode.